Okay, here is a problem with ADHD. We all think we're geniuses. Every single one of us think that our way is the right way. And there's no telling us anything different. And we can climb off the walls. We can, like if they're hyperactive, any behavior you cannot change because we think we are so right. So do you think that there's a few family issues? I got four kids, two adults. If all six of us have ADHD, we all think that we're right. Which one is right? And how do you get along? You could say, "Hi, love you, miss you." Somebody will say that wrong. Somebody will say that in an offensive way. And somebody will correct it. And somebody will say, "You need to believe in me because I'm the one that's right. You should believe in me. I'm the one that's the genius." So, highly competitive family, let me tell you. So, I am one of them. I would be one of these ADHD that you cannot prove me wrong. I know I'm right. And so it's how do you tell which one is right? Like that is the insanity is sort of when you see this trait in yourself and you still believe you're the one that's right. That's fucking insane. So, but it's like when you can see yourself doing that to yourself, you always want to make sure that you want to leave that door open to say, okay, I think I'm really onto something, but I could be wrong. And then that way, like you just have to be a genius with this disease. You've got to just know the difference between right and wrong and recognize when you're doing something wrong and then coming up with some rule that says, okay, if I do this, then I don't qualify with that insane rule right there. I am not guilty of this. So that's what I've done. So you be the judge. I personally think that I'm onto something. I just I'm getting flack because I never used the word ADHD when I've been trying to teach my kids about this stuff. Should have done that, but I'm totally against illness, and because now they're going to go to professionals and get professional advice, and these are people that are ADHD, whether they know it or not, whether they take medication, whether they diagnose themselves. But here's this guy. He's a doctor, Dr. Paul. When to ignore unsolicited advice. Okay, what illness on this planet do we talk about who to ignore? you know, I would suspect the one that thinks that they're the genius and they're gonna make sure that anybody that's got any advice out there should be ignored, and we should listen to the professional, the guy that's saying you need to ignore everybody else but me. Because as I look at this doctor and find out, where's his website and all this shit, find out he does studies for the pharmaceutical world. Like he does case studies, behavior studies. So who takes advantage of that? The pharmaceutical world. This guy's making a ton of money off of making sure you're sick. And providing these articles that say, don't listen to anybody but me. I bet you this guy thinks he's right. Even though he says in his articles, we're not really quite sure about all of this, but it can never be cured. It's a definite illness. It's definite. He is definitely been able to diagnose a behavior as wrong just because he doesn't understand it. So he is wrong. So he's viewing his world from a completely wrong perspective, which is creating a bias. So while he's doing all of these studies, he's studying, could it be this? And he's like coming up with the this on what he wants it to be. And he can prove anything he wants to as if he asks the right questions. Everything is based on the types of questions you ask, and you can make anything look. Two people can be in the same room and see the exact same event being experienced, come out of the room, interview them separately, and they'll both tell two completely different stories. So we see things based on our perceptions, our comprehension. Um, and we're all biased. That's why a justice system can't work, is because judges are biased. They're going to judge what is relevant and what's not. I kind of think evidence of where kids live and when, and I just happen to believe that evidence should be presented in court, where apparently in child support you can't provide any evidence. It's none of your business, apparently. And that is on the record, that I was literally told information was none of my business. How can you judge what is right and wrong if you don't receive information? And somehow, in my magical experience, I can come and say on court record, under oath, I was told that it's not my information was not my business, and the judge who made a ruling that says it is my business, you need to give this information. And as soon as we said no, that's not our business, the judge says, okay, it's not our business. My lawyer says, okay, it's not my business. So it's like, okay, taxpayers, guess what? Information in a court is not their business. I'm getting off topic again. I'm just on such a rant with this shit. So anyways, if you look at this article, this guy basically says, everybody and anybody you shouldn't talk to. Even Oprah's on the list. Those who deny the validity of the patient's ailment altogether. I do. I don't think it's an ailment. I think it's a gift, like being able to sing. You just got to know how to use your voice. Those who have a better idea about treatment. Oh, that would be me. So I have ADD. What works for me is not relevant at all to anybody. So on 2 counts, the very first 2 counts. Those who know better about the diagnosis, that would be me again, but then I have it. So, but that would include himself. Let's see if he's included in there. Those who deny the validity, well, he's not making any money if you're going to deny that. So that's basically saying we all have to agree there's an illness so that I can make money here. And that made it to the very top of the list. So that's very suggestive to make you think that this guy knows what he's talking about, and that he's the genius out of the whole crew. That would be the genius to listen to. And yet that's the very nature of the disease, is you can't see where you're wrong. Those who have a better idea about treatment. So this guy has a better idea about treatment than me, so he's saying don't listen to him as well. So the first 2 counts, he's not looking too good. Those who know better about the diagnosis. So anybody that knows better than me should not be listened to the diagnosis according to that. If he thinks he knows better, he fits within there, because he thinks he knows better. Better than what? Better than you? No, it's better than me. What an idiot. Those who have seen the latest episode of Dr. Phil and Oprah. Well, both those people don't have a clue about anything to deal with life. Oprah's got an illness of her own. She openly says she's got a thyroid issue. She focuses on living your best life and, being spiritual, and I'm at one and very centered and awake and aware. And yet her thyroid problem turns out has a cause and can be cured. If you cure the cause, you can cure your thyroid problem. She does have some issues that she doesn't want to face. One of her issues is she doesn't want to face court. She went to court once, had major issues. She's so good she never went and seen counseling, although hired and started creating a Dr. Phil show. She apparently still says that she has never seen counseling because she's so centered within herself. She doesn't need to talk to nobody because she's the genius, the ADD person that's the workaholic, really good at her job, that thinks she's always right, with an illness that is curable if she lived her best life. But she's getting really heavy, and that ain't good for your health. And one observation that I've seen that she probably has going on with her life is, and I ain't saying I don't have issues, because I got issues too. One of them is a will to live. because I am not valued. You know, I am stupid, dumb as a rock. Don't listen to me. I have no value. I'm offensive because I have a different opinion, and these guys are writing articles say, "Hey, don't listen to her. She's got a different opinion." Um, I'm on a welfare. There's so much energy that says I'm lazy and stupid. You know, like um, you kind of need to want to see a little bit of value in something I've got to say. And when a person has value for their life, they have the will to live. So it ain't like I'm depressed. I'm just very logical about, okay, these are some negative feelings that I need to overcome. Overcoming those issues because I'm seeing a massive demand. And it's like if ADD is coming up and we want to label it an illness, it's like, okay, if there's money to be had, we need to do the right things with money. But it's like, hey, if that's the way you're going to listen to a professional is because they make a lot of money, then maybe we need to start doing something. So one of the things I thought of today is starting a school for kids that have ADD. Can you imagine that? A school where you can actually learn how to master the skills and traits of being a super genius and love the process. You know, so there's, and that's would be creating a school that I would love. What type of school would I really excel learning in? Because I have ADHD. Um, my son has ADHD. If he learned more of what he really loved doing, I mean, that kid would be behaving like you would not believe. I don't believe any kid would have any disability if you designed a school system for ADHD kids, and all designed by ADHD kids that want to learn what we want to learn. And it's all functional within society. It is like the new Matrix. If we all learned how to do everything right and we graduated and we have our own little piece of paper that says, hey, I graduated from the super genius school. So it's like I'm seeing potential for myself. That is, you have to um, solve your issue all the time. You have to recognize that you have an issue. I mean, this guy on the list, I can go down because it goes down to a conspiracy. Yeah, it's those who provide too much information. Okay, I can provide too much information, so I shouldn't be listened to. Those who have a conspiracy theory, okay, I fit within that, but it's not all done intentionally. They're just all mentally ill. Those who want to share their medication, oh well, my medication is water. I think water will save the day, um, because you just have to sort of pay attention to what's going on and take responsibility. Because, yeah, we could be obsessive, compulsive, we have information. Chances are most of us are pissed off and frustrated. So if you're pissed off and frustrated asking this information field, guess what? All of us are wrong. So that's what I've tried to work on, is trying to be really peaceful and loving, and it's like really hard to do while living in hell. So, but I mean, if you can learn how to love hell, how much worse can it get? You know, like you've if you can master the very very bottom, you know, there's nothing but the top to go. So it's like I know where everybody's headed, and you're all going to there's going to be a shift. It's going to have like a 100 monkey concept, that it's going to be whoosh. We had to do it because we're about to die, and that's basically what's happening to me. It's the same pattern. I'm smoking right to the point where I'm almost dead, and all of a sudden a good idea will pop in, you know, just save the day. Oh, ADD pops up, school. And how I did that is very, very interesting. Blow your mind. This is what you need to master. These are some of the tools that I would teach in a school for ADHD to master your skill. Tape's running up, so I'm going to vent on another tape.